games, gave up, I think it was a season high 11 offensive rebounds, only 6 offensive rebounds from the opponents tonight. Just what do you think was the difference there for you guys?
Well, those 6 were like in the first half, right there. And, you know, the beginning of the game, just defensively, you know, one of the things I always talk to them about is whatever it takes, whether it's 5 seconds, 30 seconds, let's be committed to getting a defensive stop and finish it with the rebound. And East Tennessee State, you know, was methodical in their approach from an offensive standpoint. They were taking us one-on-one late clock, ball screen action, late clock, and really getting anything that they wanted towards the basket and also second chance opportunities. I mean, we talk about it not just every day, all day, every day, and that, you know, we just needed to do a better job of finishing out those possessions. I felt like defensively we were on point from like the 3-minute, little bit over 3-minute mark in the first half all the way through the second half. And I felt like our length, our intensity wore them down. And we consistently finished defensive possessions with a rebound.
Okay. Hubert, you started knocking down in that second half.
Yeah.
What went into that decision? What was he done to kind of earn some of those minutes
No,
early on?
I love the way that, you know, it was the last 3 minutes and something seconds of the first half. I just felt like the energy was good there. And I just wanted to start the second half that way. Nothing more than that.
We're going back to what you said about them being methodical. Caleb said maybe one of the reasons there's some slow starts against some of these low major teams is they do things very different. And he said it's a little bit of I guess maybe frustrating to kind of learn to adapt with them doing things very different than the high major teams do. Would you say that that's accurate and that it just kind of takes time for these guys to sort of figure it out and play through it and get up to speed with it?
Well, I don't want them to take time because, I mean, every team is different. I mean, when you go into conference play, I mean, it's just everybody has a way that, you know, they play on both ends of the floor. And so, you know, I don't want to get off to slow starts, and I felt like we did. It wasn't just defensively. I didn't feel like we were sharp on the offensive end. I think the first 12 shots that we took, 7 of them were from 3. And we always talk about we want to dominate points in the paint through post or penetration. I love threes. But, man, if, you know, early in the shot clock we can get a layup or a dunk or a deep post catch or get fouled, get to the free throw line, I like that better than a quick 3. And so I thought from an offense on both ends of the floor, it took us a little while to get into the rhythm. And once we did, which it started with us defensively, I felt like it translated on the offensive end as well.
Spencer, then Noah.
Go ahead, quick.
Yeah, no, to stay on that, you guys have had some slow starts in some of these games. Do you have an explanation for it happening more than just a couple of times?
No, I don't. You know, I do not. I like to. Well, I would say this. I wouldn't necessarily say that we've consistently gotten off to slow starts. I would say that at times we hadn't been consistent at the beginning, where we've gotten off to a fast start and then we had a 4 or 6 minute lull on both ends of the floor, where we allow a team to come back. We're in a situation where maybe we could extend the lead, and so the consistency. That's the one of the biggest things with this team is just playing at that high level. We've shown that we can be there, but the consistency to be able to do that for a full 40 minutes.
Spencer, then Noah.
Going off of that and the slow starts, it kind of took you guys went into the first half on that little run and then started the second half on 7-0 and then a 15-0 run. I guess, what did you see? What was your message to fuel that to the guys?
Nothing. I mean, my message is clear and direct and definitive with them. I keep telling them there's no other road, there's no other route, there's no other way. You can't push a button and recalculate. You know, it's not going to give you another route. The only way for us to be successful is we got to be a really good defensive team. We got to rebound the basketball. And on the offensive end, we have to make the easy play. It just is what it is. And when we check those 3 boxes, it leads to everything else on both ends of the floor to allow us to be successful.
Noah, then Rod.
Caleb said now when he gets doubled, he kind of just laughs every possession. Like, it's just, it is what it is.
He does?
How have you seen him? How have you seen him adjust to that over the course of the season so far? And what do you need to see him do more and more as he continues to get doubled moving into conference play?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's seeing a lot more attention every game, and rightfully so. one of the things that I think is allowing Caleb and Henry to be really good out there is, not, yes, they can score, but they're really good passers. So when you put two on the ball, like, they can find an open teammate, whether it's on the perimeter or a teammate cutting to the basket. It's almost to our advantage putting two on the ball because they're so gifted at passing the basketball, and they really trust their teammates to understand where they are, and very unselfish on the offensive end.
Rod, then Jeremiah.
Hubert felt like a big sequence late in the first half when Jaron and Henry blitz and trap the ball screen. You get to steal with Kine and a layup. Do you anticipate being able to do more of that with Seth back and getting into those passing lanes?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, we did. We tried to do that against Upstate, and I just didn't think we were doing it very well. This is another level for us. Like, when we press or we trap, like, it kind of gets us going. And I like to get going without that and with that, and it did, being able to trap those ball screens, it just heightened our awareness. I felt like our attention to detail, our energy was up. We got in the passing lanes, we got some steals, got in transition, and so it really lit a fire in us, and I'm glad that us doing that defensively. And I do, when Seth comes back, that's something that I'd like to do even more.
Jeremiah, then RL.
Yeah, Hubert. James Brown was a guy who kind of had him in there for that extended run. He had, good plays like the N1, picked up some fouls, things like that. I guess when it comes to the extra run that we saw from him today, is he a player that you've kind of seen maybe behind the scenes kind of piece some things together a little bit to where he's maybe a little bit starting to get a little bit more comfortable?
Well, James is a wonderful kid that works hard. He is not a good teammate. He's an amazing and great teammate. He's always talking in the locker room, in the huddle, during practice. He's someone that loves this place and wants to be a part of winning. And he's gotten some extended minutes the last couple games, and I think he's played really well. Yes, he was able to get an and one and rebound the basketball, but I just, his energy and activity, and, as I said before, I don't want to play Henry 40 minutes, and, him coming off the bench and giving us good minutes at that position is really huge for us.
Just a quick follow-up. Do you feel like there's a way to, I guess when it comes to the fouls, kind of help him rein those in a little bit and keep the, obviously, energy, but, rein the fouls in?
I don't want to rein it in. I like the energy, and I thought one of the things that I highlighted from the last game was him diving on the floor. And so he's active, he's getting after it. We could talk about the fouls, but the energy that he brings off the bench is something that I've liked over the last couple games.
Last for RL, then Beckett.
Kai, the last couple of games, 11 assists, no turnovers.
Yeah.
What have you seen from him? It seems like he's practicing what you've been preaching about, making the easy pass.
Yeah, he does. He's really making the easy play. He's someone that can run our offense, and one of the things I always say is just make routine plays routinely. We don't need home runs. We just need singles. And Kyan hits singles. He's our best passer in transition in terms of pitching a ball of a head, coming off ball screens. He's really good at finding our bigs rolling to the basket. In the first half, East Tennessee State was converging on those rolls, and what was wide open was our shooters on the weak side, and Kyan was able to find that. And so he's done a really nice job of distributing the basketball, but most importantly, taking care of it.
Beckett, then Michael.
Jaron got some minutes at the 4 tonight. What do you see as the advantages of having him there, and have you thought about giving him more time there?
Yeah, I just, I love Jaron out there, and him, the versatility. It's always been a good position for us that can go back from the 3 and the 4, playing out on a perimeter and coming off ball screens, but also running the floor and posting up. With his size and versatility, I just think he's a matchup nightmare. I think if you put a smaller guy on him like me, you just throw him into the post and get offensive rebounds, and then if you put somebody on him like Kirsch, then we just take him out to the perimeter, and then we come off ball screens and shoot threes. And so I just Sorry, Kirsch. I apologize for that. But I just love him out there on the floor, and also the versatility on the defensive end. And he's getting more comfortable with playing both of those positions, and he's just going to continue to get better and better every game.
Just for that, 6 more questions. No.
Michael and Shelby. Last 2.
Wow, bejeebies. Wow.
Michael
Wow.
and Shelby.
Wow. I thought I gave you a compliment that you were on the floor.
Hubert, Henry, career high 26 points,
Yeah.
10 of 11 shooting. Feels like he can score in so many different ways, whether it's under the basket, mid-range, the three. Do you feel like that's his greatest strength, or is it something else?
No, it is. You know, he obviously can score in the paint. One of the things that's really good for him is being able to catch around the basket on the move. And so we have a number of actions that can get him close to the basket on the move. He's got a wonderful floater. He can finish with either hand. And he can shoot from 3, and he runs the floor. So, you know, from an offensive standpoint, he can do a number of things. But I also think that what makes him effective offensively is his ability to pass. And so if you put 2 on the ball on him, he's able to read actions and find open teammates. And obviously he's in a really good rhythm right now.
Last one, Shelby.
Yeah, just a quick follow on that. Just when you think back to when you recruited him in the portal, anything that's surprised you about Henry's game?
No. No, I mean, it didn't. I mean, I didn't watch every game of Arizona, but I watched enough to know that Henry could do this. I mean, he's 7'1", he's athletic, he can finish and run around the rim. He's really good coming off, you know, on the move, downhill towards the basket. His ability to shoot threes. He's an excellent screener, and I talked about his passing, offensive rebounder. He can knock down free throws, and he's a veteran. He's been out there before. I mean, playing in the Big 12 and playing in big games, he understands what you have to do and the type of will and want to that has to be there for every possession. He's always talking in the huddles, on the court, and I think that's been a huge key for, like, Caleb. I mean, I just remember as a freshman having, you know, Coach Lebo and Steve Bucknell and older players talking to me out there on the floor, and to have somebody like that with so much experience, not just for Caleb, but for Jonathan, for everybody, it's nice to have.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thank you. Have a good night.
I'll give you a Henry note here in a second.